All right. Welcome to the. We have about 40 people or so in the virtual. Then we have close to 20 people physically here. I'm Karthic Chandran, CK. I run the data labs team here, data analytics and ML team. I have here Mohamed Illiyas. He's an ML engineer in my team. Then we both will present to do the TikTok. The way we wanted to structure this is we will start the TikTok with some demos. I hope it will capture your imaginations on what we are already doing. Perhaps other organizations are also doing with the GPT, not just ChatGPT, but the APIs behind it. What kind of applications we are already doing. And then after that demo, we'll have a quiz. The quiz is it's a fun quiz, as well as for us to understand the demographics of the attendees here, your experience, knowledge, with the ChatGPT. So that after that quiz, we have 2 30-minute sessions. The first session will be some background about ChatGPT. After that session, another quiz. That will be a fun quiz where the quizzes will be based on the So quiz will be a fun quiz. It will be through an app called Mentimeter, where the quiz questions will be displayed. You can use your phone to participate in this quiz, and then whoever answers this question first or correctly will be ranked. And then at the end of the quiz, there will be some prizes for it. So then we'll have the second session, another 30-minute session that will cover like more in-depth advanced topics of ChatGPT as well as GPT, the API behind. Then we'll have one last quiz followed by some Q&A. We've been working with GPT even before ChatGPT came out and took over the world, right? So we have some experience and knowledge with these generative models. The intent of this presentation is to share that knowledge with everybody. I hope there are some of you who have done like some wonderful things with this GPT and ChatGPT already. And then we hope that will be an opportunity for us to learn from your experience. So I hope this could be an interactive session where we can educate each other. Okay. Okay, we can start.
Okay, let us start with some demo videos.
For those who are joining remote, is the screen visible? The screen is shared.
Yes.
Hello, people. In this video, we'll be looking at how.
Are they volume?
This is a demo app we have created using GPT-3, and you can see this is a resume creator app. So in nowadays we are doing we are creating resumes. We will be formatting all the informations. We will refer some websites. We will take some reference from other resumes and create a detailed comprehensive resume. So it will take so much of time. we will be missing out some, we will be making some grammatical mistake. We will be missing some points in the experience and all the formattings and all. So by using GPT-3, we can create a high-end resume, which will be catchy to the recruiter, and also it will tell your overall weightage of the career importance and career summary. So can just prevent it. So this is a field for entering your name. You can enter your name here, and you can just enter your email address. And here you can enter your qualification. So with the few details, we can able to create a comprehensive resume. We can put our skill sets here. Knowledge and skill set can be entered here. So we are just Python or SQL data analysis skills here. Yeah, it's good. And the next field is projects. So you don't want to give the whole project description on that. You just you can just enter the project name, and in the backend it will take your skill set and this project and match it with the projects. So it will create a project description with this type of skill sets. So we are giving stock market analysis, big data using Apache and Spark to identify drivers behavior data. This is just a title of the project. And visualization. So these are some list of projects. So at the end, you can just give the previous company's experience, like 6 months of intern or 1 year of experience in BA and all. You can just enter your previous experience here. So these are just a few prompts or few details that you can give to the GPT, and this GPT will understand your details, your informations, and collectively organize this and create a resume for you. So let's wait for the output. In the backend, it is using GPT-3's API, and here's the resume. So this is a one comprehensive resume. You don't need to refer any website for the formatting, for the structure, or a backbone of the resume. Right? The GPT-3 can create a format with we have just even 5 to 6 lines, but this it created a beautiful resume for you. So here you can see this project details. We have just given the title of the project. It is taking our skill set and matching it with our project and created a project description for our projects.
Awesome. Hello. So GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. The G is generative. It can generate text. That is its core functionality. Right? So you can see here that we gave probably like few words or phrases, and then it put together into like a complete sentences. Right? It generated new content. Right? We designed and implemented a database system to store customer information, product details, or analyze large data sets using Hadoop and Apache Spark to identify driver behavior patterns. That driver is a truck driver, like, so we are doing an actual project where we are analyzing the behavior of the driver using the telematics data from the trucks, right? So the generative model can generate these sentences, bullet points, phrases for you based on your input. How we did this, like we will cover in this first and second sessions. The intent of this demo is to show you what is possible, so that when we go and then when we talk about what prompting means, right? How do you create good prompts, right? There is a prompt behind this, basically, right? So we have prompted the GPT to convey that, hey, I'm interested in generating a resume, and these are the placeholder data that we will give, and based on that placeholder data, right, it can generate resume for any skill set. But the fact that we are interested in creating a resume, the structure of the resume should be so is conveyed to GPT using prompts. Yeah.
So we can go to the next demo. So we have seen demo based on the candidate side. So this job description generator is based on the recruiter side. So recruiters have to whenever they are.
Is the audio clear? Video clear for those who has joined virtually so far? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. So in the HR people will whenever they are hiring a candidate, they have to create some job description and post it in some social media. So this job description generation is like a big task, because there is not a single job in a company. They may be having so many roles, so many levels of experience, so many skill set particularly required for that role. So this JD generation is a tedious task for the HR people. So in using this GPT-3, we can able to generate a job description with just one single line with this years of experience and other details of the role, particular role. So we are giving a role a Python developer. With the Python and the Flask API, and we will be just giving the years of experience. With the 3+ years of experience. So this role is like a 3 years experience, the L2 candidate. So we are just given a few words to generate a JD. Let's wait for the output. So mechanism behind this JD creation we will cover in the second session or first session and second session. So see this job description. So we are looking for an experienced Python developer to join our team. The ideal candidate should have a strong background in web development, Python programming, as well as understanding of developing visuals. So here you can see these job responsibilities. We have just given a Python, Flask, and Django. It is able to create all the related skill set that the candidate should have. Troubleshooting and debugging application should be an important role in his or her career. So it is including that skill, and implementing security and data protection solution, hosting environment, collaborate with the front-end developers. They have not given any collaboration with the teams in the prompt, but it is giving you have to a skilled person who could collaborate with other people. So it is giving a related sentence. And in requirements, 3 years of experience in Python development and frameworks and JavaScript and excellent programming and problem solving skills. And here you can see that education qualification. We have not mentioned the qualification. So ideal candidate should possess any degree in computer science. So it is a mandatory qualification for him. So it is included in this job description.
I think we have the prompt that generated this exact output in the presentation in the first session. So we'll go through the prompt then. This seems to be somewhat simple in a job description, but the same, we can use the same thing to generate more complicated content. Like, for example, proposals or a request for proposals, contracts, terms and conditions. See, right now, the challenge is if there is an HR person, a recruiter needs to generate a JD, right? They need to depend on others, maybe the technical team lead, engineering manager, right? Even the technical team member, engineering manager, they have this like a narrow mindset of like what those skill set experiences required, right? Or they may not be able to describe it in short phrases or bullet points, right? So that is where this generative model shines, right? When we describe who's the target audience, what level of language, how much, how big the output should be, how many words, right? What level of English, right? Like based on the target audience, right? So let's say if you're generating something for high school students, right? Or other target audience. So it has the ability to tone the language accordingly, right? What words should be used, right? All those things the GPT inherently is trained and understands, right? So it helps automate many of our tasks. And then many of the use cases that we are already working on, that we will work on in the future, not just as all other tech firms like us, will be focusing on automating some repetitive tasks so that we get more efficient, right? Every team member across these different verticals, they get more efficient and be able to generate content even if you don't have specific domain knowledge on what are that content is.
So this demo is an interesting demo. Like some of you have hiring, right? So you have a prepared resume in your hand. So whenever you are applying for any job, you will be having a job description in the portal. So you may have some doubt whether your resume is matching with the job description. You may have to fine tune your resume a little bit for that particular job description or particular role. So you can check your resume against your job description using this GPT-3 and GPT-3 APIs. Play the video. So we are just pasting a job description of a data analyst. This is a resume of a data analyst and pasting it in the resume part. So in the back end, this GPT-3 will compare your resume against your job description based on the skill set, based on your experience and all the details you have furnished in the resume. It will be compared against the job description, and we can able to get a score out of 10. So you can evaluate yourself how much you are capable for that job. So here this resume is score 8 points. So it will not only just give the score, it will also explain you what are the pros and cons in your resume against this job description. So this resume matches the key qualifications and required skill set mentioned in the job description, including experience in data analysis, proficiency with the SQL and BA tools, and familiarity with the Python and data analysis. The candidate also possesses strong attention to detail and excellent communication skill, which are sought after drives for the role. So these are the pros. It is giving justification for this 8 score. So where this 2 points is missing. So here, however, the candidate specific remains. Stars. So, however, the candidate specific achievements and impacts in their previous role as a data analyst are not mentioned, which could have added more weightage to the resume. It will give you suggestion how to improve your resume. And the lack of information on candidates' knowledge of the industry trends and best practices in data analysis and business intelligence is also downside. It will give the cons of the resume so that you can improve your resume while applying for the job. So this is one of the use case.
So here you can see it's just not generate data, right? You can compare related documents also. There are, I think, 3 or so main categories of APIs, right? Information parsing, data retrieval is one kind of an API. Text completion is another kind of API. Here, I think we have used this information extraction as well as the text completion APIs to generate this output. Right? Again, we'll talk more about those data retrieval, text completion or summarization APIs in the session, in the first and second session, right? I hope when we talk about those APIs, I hope that you will be able to connect how those APIs are used or were used to generate this outcome. And then, see, we are only limited by our own imaginations, right? So if you can compare related documents like resumes and JDs, what other related documents could we be possibly comparing? Could be, let's say, invoices and purchase orders, RFPs and proposals, right? Contracts and then tenders for those contracts, or other verticals, right? Like for healthcare vertical, for insurance, for logistics, right? There are like so many use cases where it requires like analyzing like long, complex, multi-page, 50, 10, 20, 50, 100-page documents to summarize their relationship to each other. All those use cases, right, are possible now, right? To be with the help of these models, not just GPT. We also will talk about LLMs, right? These are all LLMs, right? Large language models. Large language models because they are trained with a big corpus of text data, right? Maybe the world's data, right? We still don't know what the secret sauce is. We don't know exactly how they put it together, but they have put out a model that can that can parse information and then emit output, right, in a very lucid, like human readable format, right? That could be used for so many different applications, so many different verticals. Yeah.
Let's see the next. So in the previous demo, we have seen like text completion and text generation applications. So this is a text retrieval application. So start. So this is a healthcare assessment document, which is used by nurses or assistant to the doctors. So they will just go through the document and pre-screen the patients.
Can we look at the document?
Yeah. Just chat.
It's a very interesting demo. I only saw it yesterday myself. So there is a document, a multi-page PDF document. I think it talks about mental health assessment, right? What are the different, mental health illnesses? How do you diagnose for those illnesses? What will be the treatment course for these different illnesses and things like that, right? It's a quite complex, very tech-heavy, not tech-heavy, but information-heavy, healthcare-heavy document. How big is the document? So it's an 8-page document, right? So it provides certain information about the process for assessing for mental health, and then there is some diagnosis. Then there's treatment options in the document. Okay, I just want to give you a context of this document so that when you go and see the demo, you can connect. Yeah. Can you quickly scroll down? So like this, so it will talk about what are the symptoms, right? And then like based on the symptoms, what would be the a diagnosis, and if there are different kinds of diagnosis, psychosis, depression, whatever. And then like for those diagnoses, what are like common treatment options? Okay. Now we can go to the data.
So we are just uploading this document. So now we have the document in hand. So whenever a user wants information, they have to scroll through the document and find the relevant information for that patient. So let us consider a patient is coming for a depression. So for the depression, there may be so many words with the depression, and the assistant have to go through the document and search where the relevant information is there, and read about it and handle the patient. So this is the normal process. So instead of that, we can just retrieve our required information with just a question. We can query this document and get the answers based on the context of the document.
Okay, so this is the document, just showing it.
So now we are going to query give a query about a psychosis. So now we are asking, how do I diagnose a patient with a psychosis? So there may be so many symptoms with respect to this psychosis. Let's wait for the answer. So the answer is, to diagnose a patient with psychosis, the doctor may look for alterations in consciousness, orientation, concentration, or memory difficulties. So these are some symptoms of the psychosis. So we can just get this information with a single question.
Can you pause? So one important thing is this is done on the fly, right? This document is new, right? To that model, it has not seen it before, right?
Yeah.
And then we can input the document, create some embeddings, document embeddings in the text section, right? With that embeddings, the model, the GPT is able to query the document to answer that specific question that is asked, right? And then it may not just copy certain section and paste it here. If the data is there, about, let's say, this particular topic, psychosis, in different parts of this document, it can summarize that also. It can summarize it and give it in a paragraph, like 1 or 2 paragraphs, right? So that it is a synthesized information, not just like a search and paste, yeah. And this is not meant to replace whatever we are doing, right? Let's say if there's a clinical diagnosis process going on, right? By trained professionals. Obviously, they are the ones who do it. Even for trained professionals, even for developers, like we may not know everything, we may not remember everything, every syntax, every function, right? Every process, right? Even for us to get a quick answer to a specific question, to orient ourselves for that specific task in hand in front. This can be used as an aid. So these generative models, the applications that are built on top of these generative models will result in us, us meaning not just technical folks. It could be HR folks, it could be healthcare folks, whatever other verticals may be. They can become more efficient, right, with their time. Right? You don't have to remember everything in your mind, right? As long as you understand that the broad process, right? If you know what, the exact how, you don't have to keep it in your brain. You can retrieve it with the help of these generative models or the applications that will be built on top of this generative.
we are asking a next question. So how do you manage a person with dementia? So this data may not be there in the document. Like how do you manage this exact sentence will not be in the document. So this APIs understand this query and search the document, search the embeddings in the backend, and retrieve the dementia path and search for the how management of the patient. So this will be like a sequence of events happening in the backend, and it will at the end it will summarize the content based on the question. So how to manage a dementia patient is the query. It will give relevant output for our need. So dementia patient requires support from the family as well as society. Treatable condition should be managed on priority. Counseling of the family members regarding the nature and the cause of the condition is very important. So this is giving some results how to manage that patient.
You done?
So you can see the information. So let us move to the next demo. So this is a summarization engine. So now you may be having a large document, so 300, 400 page document. You don't have a specific time to read all those contents and interpret the document. So at the time, you can use this summarization engine. So GPT is having some limitations on tokens, but we can bypass the tokens using some other technologies. We will be covering that in the next session. So by this using multiple technologies together, we can break the tokens and use this as a summarization engine. So we are just giving a proposal document which is of 4 to 5 pages, and we are trying to summarize this.
So this is a sample proposal. It will have information on, let's say OptiSol is generating the proposal for a client. It will have information on about OptiSol, our background, our experience, team size and things like that. It will have some details about the specific problem statement, right? Our solution approach, our estimate and things like that, right? It will be 4, 5, sometimes 6 pages. This is that 4, 5, 6 pages document is summarized into a couple of paragraphs.
So you can see here, so this document is a 5-page document. So you can it summarizes the content. It not only it takes the important content. It will go through all the content and take all the relevant information, all the important information based on some weightage in the backend, and giving out a 2-page two phrases of this summary. It's not only the proposal document, it may be a tender document, it may be a healthcare document. So any document that needs to be summarized can be done using this GPT-3 APIs.
There's somebody from digital marketing. Who was that? So the digital marketing team, even OptiSol, right? Like already use some browser prompts like this, right? Let's say you have an article, right? You want to tweet that about that article, right? Like, so the summarization could be used, right, to generate a tweet for that article, and then it can automatically post it in your Twitter handle or something like that, right? So the summarization has different outcomes, right? Like it provides different value for different verticals, right? Like, so those subject matter experts, if they understand that, hey, big content could be summarized into a much smaller few sentences to a paragraph or something like that. They can figure out where and how they can use it in their daily tasks.
Next. So this is the final demo. So here we have used a multilingual. Yeah.
How the text are good thing. The Excel sheet, sir, minor branch of Excel document. And Excel.
Come here. Come here and ask so that what you're asking, the virtual team will also understand.
பண்ணது ஃபுல்லா வந்து டெக்ஸ்டா தான் இது பண்றோம். இது டேட்டா அனலிஸ்டா ஒர்க் பண்ணும்போது எக்ஸல்ல ஃபுல்லா ஒர்க் பண்ணுவோம். கம்பெனி ஃபுல்லா எக்ஸல் பண்ணுவாங்க. இப்போ வந்து எக்ஸல் ஃபுல்லா கொடுத்துட்டு அது இன்சைட்ஸ் எடுக்க முடியுமா அதுல இருந்து?
Currently, it is not possible using this GPT. So, what the companies are doing is they are creating a plugins to integrate other documents like Excel or .text format or a PDF document to integrate with GPT, and we can use the plugins and get the insights. So, it is in the development phase. We will also cover that plugins part.
Size limit இருக்கா அதுக்கு?
Size may be a constraint in this case. Because these GPT models are handled by the company. They are not giving open source models in our hands. So this the data is sent to the server, and we are retrieving the answers. So we can upload a large data file into that. We can use it as a simple application for our small use cases.
I think you can chunk it, right? There is a 4,000 token limit for API call, right? One token is equal to one word, right? So if your data is bigger, like we see, that's I think we'll cover some of this in this presentation. So in the pre-processing, like chunking the data is really big, right? So that we can give smaller chunks of data for whatever like text completion or summarization is possible. See, Excel, again, I don't know what Excel that is, right? The GPT 3.5 that we have access to, right, works well with this natural language format text. But the next version of these models can parse this Excel also. I have seen some demos of GPT-4 where just throwing in Excel without even explaining what the content is, right? I have seen some demos where it will infer based on the column title what the data is, right? And then it can do some exploratory data analysis, right, on the Excel data, and then generate some kind of output in Python or Power BI, and then be able to give it to us, right? That is not available, let's say today, or April 30th, 2023, right? May 1st, 2023, I don't know what will happen. But this is going fast in the direction, right? Being able to parse documents of any type, in any format, or any domain, right? With the simple or simplified prompts or inputs from the user, or sometimes no input from the user. It can parse this document, understand the structure, understand the content also, and then generate some whatever the outcomes are. This is the last demo. This is, I think, an interesting demo. This is a multilingual because we are in India, like we speak so many different languages. So we want to make sure that these generative models are not only available to those who speak English or these European languages. There are some applications that there are some language translation, voice to text capabilities within this ecosystem that we can use for multilingual applications also. Right?
So this is just a audio. We have a audio of a conversation. Like a person is ordering some product to a company, and he is paying something. This conversation is in an audio format in Hindi. So we have used OpenAI's model for converting this voice into a text. There is a model called Whisper AI. It will not come under NLP. It's like a speech recognition domain. So we have used that and created a transcript of Hindi for that audio. And we are just giving this Hindi text to the GPT API. It will it just translate in one shot. Like it will be in conversation mode. It will convert this Hindi text into a English text. So here you can see the English text. It is not changing the mode of the conversation. It is in the conversation mode, and you can see all this information here. So now we have this information. We have just unstructured format of the text. It is in conversation. So by if we want to place this order, we can able to interpret this text into a structured format, and then we can place an order automatically. This is like an automation task. So for converting this unstructured text into a structured text, we are just again prompting this GPT. So it is generating the structured format now. So now you have the structured format. So it's a Walmart pay and number of quantities and how much amount is there. These will be under, we can get this data as a JSON format, and we can place the order in the backend. So consider like Hindi audio now. This Hindi audio is converted into we can place the order from that Hindi audio. So it is possible with this GPT. So we can not only this Hindi audio, this GPT is able to convert, able to interpret the text in the other languages too. It can interpret in Tamil and other languages too. I think OpenAI is supporting like 60 languages as of now. So we can use this capability into our applications.
So this can trigger the digital transformation, even faster. Like I'm sure you would have had some experience with this current IVR, right? Current IVRs are quite clunky, right? You have to say specific words, right? And then based on those words, it will ask some questions, right? Like let's say if you're doing a restaurant booking, you have to say book, new reservation, update existing reservation. Then you say last call the reservation ID. Then it's not as intuitive as talking to a customer service representative, right? So every time I go into an IVR, what I do is I keep pressing the 0 button, hoping that it will get me past this IVR and talk to an actual human, right? So with this, what is quite possible is this back-end processes could be done on a real time, right? So that a person can potentially, talk in their native language, that gets transferred to text, converted to English, and then, parsed through a model that is specifically trained to answer those questions. The model's output could be translated back into, Hindi text and then responded in a voice. And then the model will be nuanced enough to answer, interpret like the same question asked different way. Or like if it requires like more information to answer that question, interact with that human in a more natural format, get those information that is needed, and then like parse it and then service that client, right? That person. So it has a very broad implications. Right? Sometimes it is scary. But we don't know, right? I think, I hope that the technology is now there. It's evolving, right? It will be like, it is already accessible to us, right? We are using, we did this with whatever APIs that we have access to. We are not waitlisted in a spec, we don't have access to GPT-4, at least not yet. We are able to do it already. The technology is available. Right? I think if the technology is available, we'll use this technology to integrate that into these processes, right? These business processes. This business process will become more efficient, I hope, right? That will in turn help the consumer, right? And then we'll be focusing on working on more higher order of things than repetitive tasks, right? So that's the direction this is going. And then this technology stack, it's a transformative technology stack that will enable or accelerate that digital transformation.
Yeah. So
Right. We are done with the demos, right? I hope I hope we didn't overwhelm you, but I hope we seeded some thoughts in your brain on what is possible so for you guys to think about. And then when you go into this technical presentation, hopefully you can connect back to this step, right? Let's take a quick break. I think a quiz plan. Yeah. So there will be an interactive quiz, right? So that will wake up some of you who are gone to sleep. I hope not. Maybe the virtual audience. So we'll do an interactive quiz. Is there any question? Go on. Buddy. Only is a former OptiSol. I'm happy to see him here.
So, language translation actually. So, translation. So, what kind of language we can get? Can't get it. So, what kind of language? So, this is like language translation. So, what kind of language is it?
So we were talking about language identification. Yeah, we can do that. We can give any language to the GPT API, and if we give some prompt like identify this language or detect the language, it will give the specified language.
So once after converting into English, so will it also identify what was the intent? So it's like information or a motivation or just like a normal text or a review. So will it be able to identify that also?
Yeah. Because these GPT APIs, GPT-3 is trained on large amount of data, which we will cover in the session. Like it is having so much of data inside it. So it will not just answer you the question, it will also give you the exact meaningful context-based results. So it will not just throw you any output. It will detect the language and it can able to interpret the every lines of the language and say what content is this. So what meaning it is representing. It can able to give this output.
Okay. Say if we have two different paragraphs. So one is like an informative, one is like so it'll also identify with the first paragraph is an information, second paragraph is like a motivation. So
Yeah, it can help.
See, for those of you in the chatbot world, right, we would have to do that ourselves, right? We have to classify the intent, understand what the person is asking, and then trigger the response accordingly, right? See, that has been obfuscated away from us, right? It understands. I hope this demos show, right? Like it knows that this is a resume, it knows that this is a JD, right? And then it can understand these are the sections of this resume that has that particular like information, and then it can compare that with certain different sections of this JD without us telling, hey, this is the specific section, right? And then match it, rank it, and then even interpret if it gave a score of 8 out of 10, why is it 8 out of 10? Why is it not 7 or why is it not 9, right? See, that level of the information parsing is already built into this LLMs,